Dakota land where the skies are wide and the freedom stands. With a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky in the heart of the 701. I feel so alive. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. Ranch in the fields, the cattle run free with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. The rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fish in the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night. With every shot fired, we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true. With family beside us, we stand through and through. Guns in the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values, our fate is revealed. With the word as our guide, we tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align. In North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around. From the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake, with God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71, forever we'll stand in the heart of our faith in this great free
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 199. That's right. Next week, 200 episodes already. We started our fourth year here a couple weeks ago. So thank you all. And thanks to our sponsors. LAUER Repair has been with us since day one. And we appreciate everything that he's done over there for us. Axe, thanks for staying with us. And thanks for sponsoring the show. Good evening, Randall. Hey, Paul. Good to see you. Numbers are coming on. I know some of you exclusively do YouTube. YouTube has axed us yet again. Hey, Brian, good evening, my fellow MVE. But they claim we're selling guns, and I think it got triggered by our Little Angry Man sponsors ad on there because we advertise a gun company, I guess. I don't know. It kind of frustrates me. But you know what, everybody? Head over to Rumble. If you see the Rumble thing here, I have that up there. And that actually now you can bring in comments from there. That's what's great. The comments are now posting on there, and it's kind of fun to have that in the fray here. So go there, or as I posted in the chats here, you can always hit the CommiTube backup as well, or you can just go right to the backup channel. But I have the live stream here. Maybe I can put it up here. I believe I can. Yeah, there it is, everybody. That's the one. Just if you're anywhere out there, just go ahead and hit that as well, or you can just again go right straight to the backup link, which is going to be youtube.com/@theshootthis93. That was always my backup channel, or that was my own channel for years. I didn't do much on it, but I made it the backup channel for us because it seems like they're at it again. Just about every single channel out there that has anything to do with firearms, it's horrible. It just is. Brian, I don't know. Maybe that link's no good that I shared. You could give it a whirl. I mean, I think it's the right one. Go ahead and check it out, and it should take you over to it. Yeah, I just clicked it, Brian. So if you see it there, go ahead and click that if you're seeing that in the comments. In fact, if I'll do this. Everybody, give me a minute here. I know I'm starting this out here a little bit different. So here's the CommiTube one. I'll put that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the one again for the actual Rumble. And I'm going to post that in the Facebook comments, and hopefully people will see that as well. There we go. I got them both up there. Follow one of them, and you should be able to find Guns of the 701 and have some fun with us. So, Brian, David, yeah, he says, hey, yeah. Twitter's working again, or X, everybody. X is now in here again, which is great to see. So let's get to starting this show out. I just wanted to give everybody that heads up and make sure that y'all knew that, hopefully next week, I don't know when that went into effect. It looked like this morning. I made the appeal, and they basically told me to pound sand. They don't care. It's a communist company. I wish everyone would leave it. Leave YouTube and go to Rumble. It's that simple. Rumble doesn't do that to us. But let's get started here. I gotta get the right stuff here. See, I got off on a rant. So anyway, Second Amendment, everybody. Well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And everybody, that is such an important amendment. To me, it's the most important one, and it backs everything else. Without the Second Amendment, we wouldn't be here today the way we are, even being on platforms like this, because we'd have no freedom of speech, we would have no freedom of assembly, we'd have no freedom of religion, we'd have no freedom of press. All parts of the First Amendment. So, all righty, with that, I like to start each and every single show with a prayer, and this is no different. So let's pray. God our Father, giver of life, who we entrust the United States of America to in your loving care. You are the rock on which this nation was founded. You alone are the true source of our cherished rights. Those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Please reclaim this land to your glory and dwell among your people. Send your spirit to touch the hearts of our nation's leaders. Open their minds to great worth of human life and the responsibilities that accompany human freedom. Remind your people that true happiness is rooted in seeking and doing your will. Lord, in your name we ask, through Christ. Amen. And I like that prayer. I didn't write that one. I do a lot of times I do my own, but I seen that one again, and I thought it was fitting. Everything we see today, to me, it's just. It says, I'm unable to find you live on Rumble. I know. Well, that's tell you what. I'm going to put it up here one more time and see. I don't know what's going on here. I was able to click the link myself and go to it. I think this is it. Try this one. I think that's the Rumble link. There it is. If you go to the Rumble link and just search out, or not the link, just go to rumble.com and search Guns and the 701. You will find that over there generally. I've never had any issue with it before. So just give that. the first channels, when this was all starting up, we didn't really know how it worked. So you can also search the Shootist 93. That's the one where you can actually do the commenting on, because it was the original one we made. So if you just search this, I'm going to type this in, everybody. That should put you there, but Guns and the 701 should also pop up. Try that. Otherwise, you can go over to that backup on YouTube or somewhere like that. So I know it's frustrating. It really is, everybody. It really frustrates me that CommieTube does this every so often. We get on their radar. That's what it seems like. So anyway, so let's go on a lighter note. As you all know, we have the National Rifle Association has their annual meetings. It's like the granddaddy of them all, kind of like the Cheyenne, Wyoming Frontier Days for rodeos. Everything and anything is happening. Big changes in the board of directors there, exhibits. There's a huge Friends of NRA event. I mean, there is just a ton of things going on at the actual annual meetings for the NRA. And I think I'm actually going to try to attend. I think they're in Texas again next year, but I'll have to check that out. But what I'm going to point out here is that there's all these groups have them. You got the National Rifle Association's annual meeting. You have Gun Owners of America's Goals. That's their annual meeting. Gun Con, and that's just gun convention. The Great American Outdoor Show, which, by the way, that is also put on by the NRA. That takes place in Pennsylvania. And how that all come about was that thing was going to fold at Harrisburg, and we jumped on it. I was still an employee with the NRA. I was still a senior field rep with the NRA, and we jumped on that and took that. And yeah, it's been a great thing because it has grown. It has become a staple in those events that take place across the country. That's become a staple, and it's really kind of geared more towards hunting, shooting, gear, stuff like that. But they have incorporated, of course, NRA's foundational mission basically in there, and I really like that one as well. Then the Gun Rights Policy Conference. Well, so coming up in Fort Worth, Texas, this one's coming up, so you haven't missed this one yet. You're looking for a late fall or say early fall, late summer vacation. Here you go, everybody. Fort Worth, Texas, and it's taking place September 25th to the 27th. It's a Gun Rights Policy Conference. Now, I'm going to see if I can drop this up here for y'all. I think I had it. There it is right there. Gun Rights Policy Conference. The cool one about this is that you've got some great speakers coming on there. If you see, Brandon Herrera is going to be there. Anyway, that's taking place September 25th through the 27th. So I guess if you want to, I'll scroll through this here. You get tickets here and check those out. Got Robert Cicada. He was the director at ATF. Brandon Herrera, who's running right now in Texas for the seats down there. William Kirk. If you don't know who he is a Washington gun law attorney. He's very brilliant. He does a lot of Second Amendment Foundation cases. Harmeet Neelan, as you know, she's the Assistant Attorney General now. She's in charge of the Civil Rights Division now at the Department of Justice, and she has been hammering it out. I'm telling you, she's been doing a great job. Right here, you got Jared Yanis. He's with Guns and Gadgets. If you haven't caught that, go check it out. Just do a quick search of Guns and Gadgets. Of course, Cam Edwards, he's with Bearing Arms now. He writes for them. But Cam, he always was with Cam and Company, and I believe that started, if I remember right, it started in like 2004. Cam and Company, and it was a great show. NRA put it out there because that's when they were trying to essentially silence National Rifle Association. So they started NRA News is what it was. That's what brought all that forth. And that was the philosophy of Cam and Company. He was the first really out there in that podcasting, live streaming world. And I think it was even on the Outdoor Channel for a while, but Cam had a great show, and then he moved into some other things. People get their starts everywhere, and it's pretty cool that Cam has been able to go on now. He's a writer for Bearing Arms, and he even does some videos over there. So you want to check that out as well. But Cam is a very knowledgeable guy. Got to meet and talk with him several times when I worked for the NRA. I just like his take on everything. Hey, Austin George, thanks for Yeah, he says, I had to go to your page to find it on Rumble for some reason. Not sure why. Also, not super familiar with Rumble. I know it's a tougher platform, everybody, but thanks for posting that. He's got it up there too. Hey, Jamie, good to have you on here, and good visiting with you the other day. And I'm going to actually have something on here later that's going to kind of speak to everyone that's in this world, whether it's hunting, fishing shows, whether it's radio, whether it's writing. We're all on the same team, right? And we all should have a general same mission. Yeah, we have some friendly competitions, but remember that we all have the same goal: it's to protect our Second Amendment rights and to further the cause for hunting, fishing, and the outdoors. It's just that plain and simple. So, but yeah, hey Austin, thanks for finding that. Go ahead if you've got Austin there. I see he chimed in, and we're glad to have him on with us over at Rumble. So hopefully, maybe everybody can find their way over there. If nothing else, what I'm probably going to do is, I don't do this very often, I will download the entire full program tonight, episode 199. I will upload it. If I've been able to do that go around, I will upload it onto the YouTube channel. So hopefully it will go through. And I've done that before. They seem to miss it when I do that, but we shall see. Lynette says, my posts aren't coming through on Rumble. Okay. Well, I got it on Facebook, so I don't know what to tell you, Lynette. I guess keep posting here. You can watch on Rumble and post from your phone, I guess, with Facebook, but those are making it through. And the Twitter ones or the X ones seem to be coming through. Anyway, so we were talking about the Gun Rights Policy Conference. It's a 3-day event. They got some great speakers coming up. I'm excited about it myself, but I can't make it. I know I can't. I would love to go to this one sometime, though. So here's some of the topics at the other one. So that's the broad one, right? The other one that takes place, everybody, is another good one. Give me a minute here. I'm going to pull that up there, and I'm going to share that. So it's kind of nice when I have guests here, because then I can just hop on here and share these things and get them loaded while all of you guys are listening to the other guy. But let me find it. I found it. There it is. Boom. So this is AmCon. All right. No, it's not a con. It's Alternative Mass Media Conference, AmCon. And as you can see, when you look at this, let me bring it up here. You can register for this. It's a 1-day event in Dallas, Texas, so a little farther. It's just in that, it's not that far from Fort Worth, really, but Texas is a big state. But this is taking place in Dallas. And this is taking place September 25th, 1 day only. And what the whole idea of this is, they want to gather the top Second Amendment media members and influencers who provide educational presentations about things related to our right to keep and bear arms. It's also for those who are established or aspiring journalists, bloggers, video media personalities, podcasters, or have a general interest in the new media. Previously, this event, this is the first year it's been open this way, it was only open to media members only. They have recognized that they need to have a lot more people there, because in the social media world, people spread things, everywhere with friends, family, groups, organizations. I mean, you name it, it's happening, right? So Mark Keefe, if you don't know who Mark Keefe is, let's see, right here. He used to be just a writer for American Hunter. He is now the NRA Publications editor and has been for some time. But right here is where he's at. Yeah, he spent decades in the shooting sports and firearms journalism, joined the National Firearms Museum in '88, moved to the American Rifleman in '91, became editor-in-chief in '03. And he has done just a fantastic job with the publications there. Got to meet him several times as well when we were always traveling out there. But he's going to be a great speaker, and he's kind of the keynote speaker at this event. And you also have Cam Edwards, who I was just talking about right there. He's now the Bearing Arms and host of Cam and Company podcast. He pioneered online video coverage in the Second Amendment issues in 2004, and one of the most respected commentators in that space. He was actually named the Second Amendment Foundation's Blogger of the Year. I'm not trying to bore all of you guys, because some of you may know these names, some of you won't, but I can tell you that really these guys are great. So Robin Sandoval, and I'll just give you a little heads up. She's with a girl and a gun. And I have a connection there and might be able to get her on the show sometime soon. I've been in contact with the person that takes care of that for her. So she might be joining me at some point. And I know that I'm excited to have some of these people on. I really am. I'm going to try to get Cam on too. I mean, I know Cam, so we'll try to do that. You've got Rich Hummel. He's Gun Owners Radio, 1791 Group. Mark Smith, 4 Boxes Diner. Dan Woes, the Loaded... I don't remember what they call this. I think it's called the Loaded Mic Podcast. William Kirk, again, with Washington Gun Law, and again, a very brilliant attorney. Stefan Gutowski, he's with the Reload. And I mean, these are all great speakers, and that's that one-day event that they're going to be talking about, trying to get people the tools they need to make themselves successful. They have some featured editorial topics as well. I don't know, I'll run through them, I guess, quick for you guys. But here it is right here. It's going to be ethical use of AI and AI tools, rebranding and driving business via your blog, effective use of video equipment and podcast growth, reporting, and navigating YouTube, which, yeah, you know my opinions of YouTube. He goes, panel discussion featuring Second Amendment advocates and activists and how to utilize media to deliver that positive message that you're trying to portray. So there's also going to be U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez. He's a great speaker as well. And like I said, I mentioned Brandon Herrera. He's the AK guy, if you don't know him. He's running for Texas 23 congressional candidate. But I think this is all going to be a great 3 days in Texas if you're able to go to it. I would highly recommend it if you can to go and do that. I know I didn't. Let me look at it. Maybe they've got some pricings here. I really don't know. I didn't go that far because I just learned of this for myself, everybody. Let me take a quick check. Yeah. So Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Okay, so you're flying in there at Irving Freeway, blah, 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 date and time. Price is $25 to go. Wow, that's pretty cheap, everybody, for the Gun Rights Policy Conference. My goodness, $25 to go to that. You can't beat a deal like that. So I would highly recommend going to that. I really would. And the AmCom is all part of that as well. So definitely, if I was you and you were able to go to Texas, you want to take in these 3 days, September 25th to the 27th, and go down there and check it out. I think it'd be a great tool for anybody. I mean, it'd be something that I'd like to attend sometime, especially with the podcast we have here. I probably learned something. I mean, I'm not too old to learn, I don't think. Anyway, get to some of the comments. Leon says, evening MVEs. Dan, good to have you here. And you want to go check his stuff out too. Hi, he says, now not streaming on Rumble. I connected Rumble now. Okay, yeah, I should be. I know I'm watching right here. I can see Rumble on there. And if you didn't know, Leon, they axed us on YouTube for a week. Said we were selling guns. So hopefully by next Tuesday that's done. I appealed it. They don't care as usual. You know, you're talking to robots and they just don't care. It's talk about no service. So, you know, they don't care. I don't care about them. But we have to be there. I mean, me and Jamie talked about this many times as well. You just unfortunately have to be on these things because none of you, I shouldn't say you guys, but most people won't leave that comfort of YouTube and Facebook. I'm not on Facebook a whole lot. I've been on there a little more, but mostly sharing things lately. But and I'm on Rumble quite a bit. I will say I use YouTube when I'm trying. No, it's Leon. It's not for the call videos. They flagged something from 2 years ago, and it looks like to me it's our Little Angry Man. One of our great sponsors, your Little Angry Man Firearms. I think it's the segment I brought up. It's in our sponsor video, you know, when we run our ads. It's just insane, but I'm going to keep running them and they can just pound sand. You know, that's my philosophy on that. But, no, not the call videos. And guys, if you haven't been watching the stuff Leon's doing on the Gordon Call thing that took place, highly recommend you go head over to Guns on the 701 and check those out, or Blackbeard Logic. I'm pretty sure he's been airing them on there as well. Check those out because they're great. Go and take a look and find them. So anyway, did I miss any other comments? Lynette, I hope you found something to watch here on the platform, and then you can comment too. I think I covered everything as far as that. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a very quick break, And we'll be back. And I'm going to talk about Colorado sheriffs. They're joining really with the NRA and other groups in opposing the training requirements on their new, basically, assault weapons ban, I call it. But in order to possess those firearms now, they've got this extensive training, and it's just insane what they want to do. And I'm finding that there's actually constitutional sheriffs. There's some that don't agree with it, but they're still enforcing it. So that still makes them wrong as far as I'm concerned. They just made statements. But we'll come back and we're going to talk about that here right after a break and thanking our sponsors.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
All right, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. This is episode 199 here at Guns and the 701. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you're enjoying the show tonight. Again, we want to thank all our great sponsors, LAUER Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, 701-258-6308. And I have to put this one up because, again, we picked them up. I got some video finally. I was down there, picked up my my minerals and my blocks, and just Jason and them guys are great. So I'm just going to put this up because they come on board with us. Crappie Creek Feeds, LLC, Jason and Megan Holm. You can reach them at 605-850-3998. Again, 605-850-3998. Or you can reach Megan at 605-515-3250, 605-515-3250. He's got everything you need for your livestock. I mean, the mineral, he's got liquid mineral supplements, salt. By the way, the salt blocks I just picked up, I'm pretty excited about. Just add a little something to them, especially in these drier fall conditions. And of course, I started using the garlic. If you can get it in, I've got it in everything now. My lick barrels, it's got these great compressed ones. All of them have garlic in them, including the salt blocks. And the cows smell a little garlicky, but I can tell you this right now: when you see them, they're spread out and they're not all bunched up fighting flies. Which, when flies are attacking your cattle, they're sucking blood just like a mosquito, which is also making them fight them off, and it's costing you weight, and it's costing you milk production and everything else. It does make a difference. So hit Crappie Creek Feeds, LLC, Jason or Megan Holmes, 605-850-3998. All right, got to do that. Thanks to them guys again for making sure that they're keeping me well stocked for my cattle herd, I can tell you that. All righty, so Lynette, oh, good. Glad you got it up on Facebook. All right, thank you. Colorado sheriffs join the NRA. Whoa, wait, right, Jamie? NRA is involved in yet another? Yeah, imagine that. If you didn't catch Mitchell in the morning last week, Friday, I talked about all the things. There's 88 cases active that NRA has either been the main plaintiff, been making letters of support, being involved in signing on with these cases, and in an array of appeals that are taking place. So NRA is active, everybody. Don't let them fool you. They have not lost what they've been doing, and that is part of the NRA ILA. So here's what's happening in Colorado. And what happens when law enforcement decides, nope, we're not supporting this measure. And if you're not familiar, that would have been August 1st, I believe. The Colorado gun control audit went into effect. It's getting a lot of pushback. That's good to see. I'm just reading some articles here. The biggest thing was that it included a few county sheriff's office. The National Rifle Association joined a lawsuit against the governor for enacting the bill, which now requires a purchaser of a semi-automatic firearm and rapid fire devices to get training and be certified for using the gun. So they've had several things thrown out. They've had several rulings not in their favor, talking about Colorado, but they decided to pass another law because they don't care. The other side doesn't care how much tax money, when they're in charge, they spend defending their craziness. They don't like the Second Amendment. They don't like you and me. They want to have total control. They don't care, so they keep doing it. Everyone says, how can they keep doing it? Because they don't care. They want to destroy the Second Amendment, and you have to look at everything that a crazy leftist does from that lens when it comes to the Second Amendment. Anyway, pro-gun right groups such as the Second Amendment Foundation and Colorado's Rocky Mountain gun owners, they opposed the bill, of course, and we were following this on constitutional grounds. DFC Guns, which is Colorado's largest gun store and range company, they pledged $400,000 now to fight this bill in court and reduce the rate of its firearm safety classes, I imagine in response to this, so everyone can get them with what the new law requires. A lot of county sheriffs, though, they're coming out and they're basically disagreeing or making statements on it. To me, when they say this, they're either issuing a statement of disagreement while still participating in enforcement. Well, then what the heck good was the statement? Seriously, what good was the statement then? Oh, we don't support it, but we'll still arrest you. Yeah, that's just a bluff. They're trying to play both sides of the fence. Those sheriff's departments are not constitutionalists, if that's what they're doing. Nice try. I guess thanks for the letter of support of our side, but, that doesn't outshadow the fact that you're still going to enforce it, which means you have to arrest these people and confiscate their private property, which they have legally passed a background check to possess. But because of a Colorado state law, nope. So anyway, here's the one I like. Montezuma County Sheriff's Office, 4 days before the law went into effect, Sheriff Stephen Nolan, guys, this is a good man. Stephen Nolan issued a statement announcing his office will not be participating in management or issuance of the training certificate required through the mandated Colorado Parks and Wildlife Program. That's right. You heard that right. It's going through the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Program to get your special certificate for your right. For any person to purchase or transfer a specified restrictive semi-automatic rifle, shotgun, or handgun identified by the Colorado Department of Revenue as provided by Senate Bill 25003. He talked to the Center Square, which is a publication out there, during an interview and noted that laws are generally enacted to promote public safety and security. However, I do not feel that this bill adequately does that, even if that was its intention. He also wrote that he swore an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Colorado and perform the duties of the office of sheriff in Colorado by protecting those rights for all citizens in Montezuma County. Wow. What a breath of fresh air to hear that from a sheriff's office. Because I haven't heard that from the sheriffs around my area. I've never heard that from Corson County. I've never heard that from Perkins County. One guy that was running, and that was Mr. Greg Carls, who I commend, he definitely would have taken that stance. I can't say that about the guy who I think will become sheriff. And I don't think the other ones believe that for a minute, not by the actions I've seen from them. Sioux County's never said that. I've never heard that from the Grant County sheriff. How about you? Burley County? Have you guys heard that? Horton? Anybody over there by Valley City? Kelly, have you heard that? Leon, how about over in your area? I'm just saying, everybody, that's a sheriff. I know another one. Well, I know two. Corey Lee over Stark County, and of course you got Wyatt down there, and he's down in Harding County, and that guy is a constitutionalist to the core. I like Wyatt, and that's what your sheriff should be. And I keep telling people, sheriff's elections are probably some of the most important, because if they have the people like they should, that's their job, to protect the people, not please the state and not please the feds with enforcement, that's who actually uphold the law and protect the citizens. That is the buffer. That is their job. And that's who you should be electing, or find people to run for it. But that's a whole nother rabbit hole here. Also, Custer County Sheriff's Office in Colorado, they issued a similar statement on August 11th, right? And they actually cited the Colorado Constitution, Article 2, Section 13, the right to bear arms, which, if you go read it, it says that it's not as good as North Dakota's. Actually, North Dakota has a great Second Amendment. In the way it's written, it's better than actually probably the federal one. It really, there's no question that we have the right to keep and bear arms in this state, according to our state constitution. South Dakota's is good too. Unfortunately, though, we have police departments such as Bismarck. We have Berta County Sheriff's Office, which has not been stellar on this. I know that for a fact. I know the Clay County Sheriff's Office has not been good, and I know the Fargo Police Department's not great on this either. So they violate Second Amendment rights just about every day when they come and if they encounter it with people. So, unless people stand up to it and are willing to take the risk and spend the money, because you have to go to court. Remember, they don't have to go to court unless they're called, and then they don't have to pay for it. So, yeah, they're using your money to fight you, and then you got to use your own money to defend yourself. How about that? Isn't that a nice system, huh? Anyway, sheriffs are important. Anyway, I do like, though, what this one guy said. He wrote in the post that he did not take an oath to help the state erode those rights, one requirement, one fee, and one bureaucratic hurdle at a time. So, and that was Sheriff Lloyd Smith, another sheriff out there in Colorado. That is a constitutional sheriff. So you've got two of them right here that do believe this. Now, let's just face it, that law was written to get rid of AR-15s. And that's one of the most popular semi-automatic long guns. But the law, when it was wrote, encompassed all semi-automatic firearms. Very few exemptions, except for law enforcement, they get an exemption. But it encompasses even shotguns, handguns, and, of course, long rifles, which that's what an AR-15 is classified as. So basically, everybody has to take this test, get their little certificate to purchase, at least in some counties. But you know who's exempt from this? Put it in the comments, because I'll give you a guess here. I'll let you try and put it in the comments. But tell me who you think is exempt, and then I'll come back to it. It doesn't really shock me that there are a few out there that denounce the law, but the majority of those sheriff's offices said, yep, we'll just do what we're told. No big deal. We're just doing our job, right? Yeah, well, you're the sheriff. You don't have to take the tyranny. You don't have to enforce anything in your county you don't want to. And they'll tell you they have to. No, they don't. For one, if you're doing things that you think you have to do, take that federal money you're taking, that extortion money, and send it back and tell them to cram it. That you don't answer to them. You answer to the people that elected you. And there's the problem. You can function without all the gears and the gadgets and the cool stuff and the drones, and you don't need all that. Do your job and protect the people. Pretty simple stuff. I guess that's where I really get frustrated when I see county sheriff offices out doing the jobs of patrol, highway patrol, federal agents. No, your only obligation is to the residents of the county that elected you. Plain and simple. You don't have to patrol U.S. highways. If you do, you can use a lot more discretion rather than trying to generate revenue or picking people up for being over fog lines just to make traffic stops at 2 a.m. because you think you might have found someone who had an extra drink. And that really gets me fired up, as everybody knows. David asks, would it be the law enforcement officers and state employed? And we have a winner. Yes, that's who's exempt, of course, from this law. As always, rules for thee, not for thou. That's the way it always goes. And, of course, you got the Giffords group out there. Those commies, they're mad about this. It's going to be Wild West, and they're mad about it being challenged. They're mad at these sheriffs because they won't do their dirty work. And that's about what that's about. So I was very, very glad to see this happen. It's nice to see that you have some sheriffs standing up. Some of these sheriffs did make comments that's going to make our jobs harder if we don't have this. Well, yeah, okay. I would say that there's a lot of things that might make law enforcement's jobs harder. You know, like illegal searches without a warrant. Does that make their job harder? Yeah, it does probably. But for the most part, it protects us, we the people, from tyrannical cops, and they do exist, or tyrants in general. It isn't just cops. It isn't just law enforcement. And I'm glad it makes your job harder. It makes you thorough. So think about it this way. If you're doing your job and doing it correctly, especially say on a search warrant, then you're going to get your guy because you've probably thoroughly followed everything you needed to do, and bingo, you have it, rather than rushing in and making a mistake, even killing somebody when it shouldn't have happened, because nobody wants to do that. I don't believe in my heart, law enforcement, regular people, nobody wants to do harm to somebody and end their life. It's a horrible decision to have to make, and I can't stress that enough. And it's probably even worse for a sheriff, for a police officer, for anybody in law enforcement. Probably the worst thing they ever have to do. But I can tell you, I've met some that I think they're just waiting to do it. It's that serious. You can see that look in their eye, and they got their hand on their gun. It's like, seriously, man? You pulled me over for a fog line. Really? So anyway, all right, we're going to take our big break. We're about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. I got a couple more things I want to go over. I know that I'm going to have some articles that I want to go over that are going to be part of Friday's program with Todd. And some of it kind of relates to what we were just talking about with law enforcement. It's not horrible, but I do think it's got to be addressed. And of course, I don't know, I just seen something come across my blip, and it says Somali piracy resurges as merchant crews remain disarmed. Are we back to that? Maybe that might be a good topic to bring up Friday morning on Todd's show. But right now, we're going to go and we're going to thank some sponsors. Can't do it without them. Take a quick break here, and we will be right back. And I'm going to be talking about a congressman in Wisconsin. And like I was talking about earlier, bringing everybody together on the same team, because really that's where we should be when it comes to defending gun rights and defending the outdoor activities that we all enjoy. So I guess stick with me, and we will be right back after these sponsor messages.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we are back again. Thanks to all of our great sponsors. Of course, Crappie Creek Feeds, and hopefully I get that video done this week now that I have some stuff from down there. But Crappie Creek Feeds down there, LLC, Jason and Megan Holm, 605-850-3998. If you don't know where they're at, they're down by Glad Valley, South Dakota. That's kind of in between Glad Valley and essentially Isabel. If you're looking for a reference, Isabel would be the one. But I'm telling you right now, they got some great stuff. His pricing is fantastic as well. And right now, this fall, I'm telling you, with all the dry grass out there, some people still got some. I've got some out there, but you're going to have to supplement that to get them through unless you want to start doing hay right now. So get down there and get some stuff from Jason and Megan. He'll set you up. He's got everything you need. Get those lick barrels, get those salt blocks that need that extra oomph here through these dry fall conditions, and you should do real good on sale day. Don't listen to everything that's going on in the cattle market. Yes, we're not going to go down that tonight. Jamie called me here the other day, and we talked a little bit about it. And I'm just going to put it to you this way. We're still seeing more for our calves than I've ever seen. It's not as much as last year. There's no doubt about it. But I've been saying this for a year that it couldn't hold anyway. Something had to give. But I'm telling you right now, I'm doing fine. Even at the price they're bringing, I'm going to be plumb tickled. And it will be more than enough to take care of our family and the place and run this place. Maybe the difference is I take no loans, I have no debt, and we own everything we have. A lot of people are overextended. They do operating notes. I realize that's how a lot of people do it. I drive old stuff that's paid for. I don't have debt. Stay out of debt and you'll be okay. Anyway, that'll allow you to put money away for rainy days as well. That's just my advice. I tell that to all the young guys too. Anyway, Congressman's outdoor event in Wisconsin brings natural Second Amendment allies together. So you'd think, right? I've said this for years too, that we seem like we fight amongst ourselves so often. We're sometimes our own worst enemies. I mean, when you really think about it. And that shouldn't be the way this should go. It really shouldn't. Right now, you got his name is Representative Derek Van Orden, and he brought together a whole bunch of people for a hunting advocate and fellow lawmaker discussion. this whole thing actually was based on protecting Second Amendment rights, protecting hunting, fishing, all the outdoors, things that we love to do. It included time at a rifle and pistol range, and it was followed by a roundtable discussion. It also drew House Natural Resources Committee Chair Bruce Westerman from Arkansas, Hunter Nation's Wisconsin State Director, and local outdoor advocates. He represents Wisconsin's 3rd Congressional District and stressed the importance of voter participation among the hunting community. Now, I guess I look at it like this. A lot of things wrapped up here. I think this is a good thing. I didn't know anything about it. I wish I'd have known about this. I at least would have got the word out earlier about it. Maybe some of the people that are in that area, like Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, maybe they could have all went to this thing in Minnesota and seen what he had to say, because I think it's a very important thing to have this discussion. And as we come into hunting season right here in North Dakota, this is relevant. People like me, Jamie and Leon and Dave, all of us who are part of Guns and 701 or over at 701 Nation, or Scott Buckmeyer on Dakota Prairie Outdoors, we're all on the same team. We want to defend the Second Amendment. We want to elect pro-gun politicians who will actually do what they say. And we want to have great hunting opportunities, fishing opportunities, outdoor opportunities. I mean, that's the goal. The Second Amendment is not about hunting, but it's a great tool. And I thought something that was pointed out really good in here was how hunters don't get involved unless it affects them, right? Oh, they just want to take away, those evil sniper rifles. Terminology, and how many times you heard me say this. Sniper rifles can be a 30-06 Springfield. They can be a 300 Win Mag, 338 Lapua. The term sniper rifle is a vague term to scare the people who they don't know. They don't have any clue. David says, I support anti-communism. Absolutely. I love that. I support anti-communism, and I do as well. But when you take the terminology like assault weapon, what comes to mind with a lot of people, even in our own world? I've met hunters that literally think, you know what, maybe we should have some limitations on AR-15s. And I'll ask them why. Well, because, they're a military style. So they use assault rifle, assault weapon, or military style. All three terms that were coined by the left. It's just a semi-auto. If it's an AR-15, it's shooting something like a 5.56 or 223, most common. If it's an AR-10, they're shooting a 30 calibers. They're shooting your 30-06s, your 300s, your 300 blackouts. They're more than just a 30-06. Yeah, Brian Warner, sniper is a person, rifle is a tool. Amen. Hey, there's a new T-shirt. I have got to make that one. I like that one. Brian, you get the credit for that. You'll get the first one off the press. Anyway, sniper is a person, rifle is a tool. I love it. But yes, that is the exact way that goes. Snipers are people. Snipers do the long-range precision shooting. David, he says, don't be scared of my single-shot rifle. Yeah, some of the most accurate, high-powered precision rifles are single shots. It'd probably come to a very big surprise to anti-gunners who know nothing about what they talk about when it comes to firearms. They truly don't. And terminology matters. And that's where we're kind of leading into this article. The whole thing came up, and basically Cam Edwards brought this up on his podcast. He was talking to Pete Rogers, host of Christian Outdoors Podcast, and he says, listen, if we don't come together, hunters and shooters together, and quit having these battles of what gun is okay to ban and which one isn't, he says, and he even mentioned the bow hunters and said, listen, if eventually they're going to come for your stuff. They don't quit, and they don't. The left never quits. Communist tyrants never quit. Ever. So that's why it's important that we all fight on the same side. I mean, there's struggle in the bow hunting community, whether crossbows should be part of archery, whether you're using a recurve or should you be doing a longbow, or is a compound bow a cheating bow? I mean, all that exists in their own community. They fight amongst themselves, but we should all be on the same team when it comes to preserving these rights, especially the Second Amendment, and get out there and vote. And they put out some numbers, and this is true. We talked about this even when I worked for the NRA. Now, granted, I've been retired for 10 years already from the NRA. It's hard to believe. But 30 to 50% of hunters in the nation don't vote. That's true. We saw it last election. We were able to raise the numbers a little bit. Wisconsin's numbers are closer to 50%, he says, and maybe they are. I didn't go break it out. But if you are having the Second Amendment issue, if you're having problems in your state, if you need to make changes in your state, in North Dakota we do. We talked about it last week on the NFA. Here we had a big victory in the Supreme Court, and none of us as North Dakota residents can take advantage of that, unfortunately. I think it should be part of the special session. It's not going to happen the way I see it, because they're too worried about protecting data centers. Whole nother thing going on. But anyway, if we don't all get on board and we don't get out and hunt, or get out and vote as a voting block, okay? If you see an assault weapons ban being proposed in your state, rally every hunter you know. Bow, rifle, shotgun, upland bird. Get the trappers out there. The trapping industry's been under assault for decades. And what did we do? I did, and I was involved in those things, helping them out as much as I could. But I couldn't even get support from most people to protect the trapping industry in North and South Dakota when issues were coming up. Seriously? Those guys hunt too. Then they would back us as well. We're on that same team. And if we let that go, they won't exist. They probably won't even vote anymore. Why should they? Nobody stepped up to help them. That's why it's important that we get on the same team and fight to protect our rights. All of them. You might not like the guy with the AR. He might not like you bow hunting. But you guys got the same goal of protecting your right to hunt and shoot and possess firearms. So I'd say you probably better set those differences aside and get out there, talk to each other, form voting blocks, and vote. Because I guarantee you the other side is doing it. We see it. They do it multiple times, some of them. They use every means necessary, and you need to get out there and do it. And that's kind of what this was all about. So like they said, 30 to 50% don't hunt. Can you imagine if we could increase that by 20? Just increase it by 10 more percent. Wow. That would be a huge thing. Don't buy in. And I'll give this Van Orden. He even said, he goes, don't buy into these terminologies that they're using. Weapons of war, sniper rifles, anything you kind of think about that the left uses, weapons of war, assault rifles, mass destruction devices. I've heard that one. I mean, it's just insane what they come up with to scare people. Don't buy into it. It's not military style. Well, I hate to break it to them, but the bolt action has been a military style for decades. I know when we first started, as me and Jamie talked about that, what are weapons of war? Military style. 30-odd sixes were military style firearms. I mean, come on. 45 ACP was put in 1911s. Weapons of war are just crazy. Yeah, cop killer rounds. That's another one, Brian. Yeah, absolutely. It's all terminology meant to scare the general public that has no knowledge of firearms. And it seems odd to us out here probably, but that's a real thing. You see that in the cities, Minneapolis, Chicago, you name your big town, but you see that even. I just made a trip to Rapid City. I was down in the hills for the weekend and ran into some people. I talked to everybody. I asked my wife. She kind of gets frustrated, I think. But I met people that absolutely didn't really have a lot of knowledge of the Second Amendment. And the whole conversation started because I'd seen a sign that said, no weapons allowed, blah, blah, blah. How was it? It didn't say not allowed. No weapons. I don't remember how it was worded now, because that's actually essentially government-owned property where they were holding the fair, and they can't do that under the preemption bill that we passed in South Dakota. But let's just say they didn't want them there, and I kind of made a grumbling comment. Yeah, that's something I'll ignore. And they go, oh, well, why would you do that? So, I sat down and had a conversation with them. I think I might have convinced them that they were safer with people like me carrying, whether it be concealed or not. They didn't know. And I go, there was problems, I understand, last year at the Central States Fair with a group of people that were causing problems. I'm not going to say, you can almost imagine what kind of people they were. And they got into a fight amongst themselves and started stabbing people. That was right down there at the Central States Fair. A guy like me would have been in the crowd, probably wouldn't have went that way. I can tell you nothing happened down there this year. So, and I'm pretty sure there are other people doing the same thing I was doing. But it's crazy when we don't get together and defend our rights and we let them be trampled everywhere. And that's what this whole thing was. That's the whole premise of what this congressman wanted. How did it go for him? It was well attended, which was nice to see. But I think we all need to be advocates. So keep that in mind this year when talking to people. We're getting ready to have a midterm election. It's going to be an important one. We are one of the biggest voting blocks in this country as hunters and shooters. We need to team up and be one. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And I hope everybody will do that. I like what Van Orden, too. He goes, if hunters turned out in good numbers and weren't a bunch of fuds, we'd never have to worry about our gun rights being taken away, and restoration of what has been taken will be much easier. Think about that. He used the term that we've all used, FUDs, so many times, and it's very true. I look at it like this. I don't agree with what Nazis say when they're marching in the street. Okay? Don't agree with it at all. But I do agree they have the fundamental First Amendment right to say it, say as loud as they want, but they can't tell you can't, oppose them and be as wrong can be. But they have that First Amendment right. We have the freedom of speech. We do not have the freedom to not hear somebody else's speech. And, we could go down that rabbit hole. You go yell fire in a crowded building. You don't have that right. Actually, you have that right to say that. Will there be consequences? Possibly if someone's injured, but you do have the right. It's a myth. It's really, there's no legal precedent that's ever been set for that. Just so everybody knows that. Kelly says, yeah, start with a rock. Yeah, that's why we made Todd that shirt. Cain and Abel, pretty easy, right? Start with a rock. And he goes, Leon says, I'm cool with all those damn Creedmoor guys. Uh-oh, Leon, way to stir the pot there tonight. I do have a Creedmoor, but I got a couple of them. So anyway, I just wanted to bring this up. I thought this congressman did a good deal. I have never, ever seen any senator or any rep from the state of North Dakota or the state of South Dakota put on a conference like that to specifically invite people to be participants and learn how to be a voting bloc. And that's what he was doing with this. Hint, right? Kevin Kramer, John Hoven, Julie Fedorchak. Rather than doing closed meeting sessions that get screened before you let people in, maybe you ought to do something like that. Plain and simple. I've never seen any of them do it. It's Dusty Johnson down in South Dakota has never done it. In fact, when he was invited to NRA banquets, he never went to them, ever. But yet says he supports the Second Amendment. I can tell you that the Public Utilities Commissioner down there, not him when he was in, but before him, always attended every single year in Pierre. Christy Noem attended them. Even John Thune was at some of them back in the day. Mike Rounds, never, ever, ever, ever. In fact, he's the one that vetoed our concealed carry bill and our constitutional carry bill. Vetoed them. Remember that, everybody. Mike Rounds is not your friend. Plain and simple. So, all right. With that, we're going to take another break. We're right up at the top of the hour. And I've been trying to keep these at hour and a half. Another thing is Jamie, if you want to send me the information again, I know September 12th, we got the Deer Rifle Steel Challenge. It's going to be on the Axel Hondo range, just outside of Mandan. So if he sends me those details, I'll sure pass those along to everybody. Or I suppose you can tune in tomorrow night to 701 Nation. I know he'll be probably talking about it there as well. But again, we're all on the same team, and we need to remember that. And that's the simple, plain truth of it all. And that's a good, I think every voice out there is going to be important, especially going into this midterm. Second Amendment isn't getting a lot of play right now, and that's a shame because everyone feels secure with Trump in there. I'm telling you right now, it's in play. We need to rile the troops. We need to get them gathered. They need to go vote. They need to go vote. They need to go vote. We need 2A people in there, and that's the simple, plain truth. And hunters and shooters, Second Amendment people, can make that happen. So get out there and vote when you can, and make sure you take a friend and only support the Second Amendment candidates. And if you don't know who they are, NRA's ILA is a good place, or PVF. Call me, get a hold of Jamie, call Dave, Leon. I'm telling you right now, there's outlets. And as it gets closer here, I'll try to compile them. Some of the primaries are still taking place, and maybe we can get it posted on our website, because not everybody who says they're 2A is 2A. But they got voting records, most of them. If they're new, you'll have to take their word for it, I guess. But I'm telling you right now, you have to vote for Second Amendment candidates, because if the Democrats take control, we're going to need every single ally we got. And the only person will be blocking it if things go really bad, which I don't think we're going to lose both chambers. I think we're going to hold them both barely. But the only guy that's going to stop it's going to be President Donald Trump, and he's only got 2 more years, everybody. So remember that. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to do the happy ending of the week. And it's a little bit unusual. It comes out of California. I think everybody's going to like it. So, all right, hold on. We'll be right back.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701, and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Rolling in this last segment here. Remember, Friday, we got Guns and 701 with Todd Mitchell in the morning. We come on at 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central in the morning. You don't want to miss that. And I'm going to talk, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use 2 of these articles here. We'll see that I kind of say. One has to do with the militarization of law enforcement. How come that's not a problem, or it is a problem, I should say. It's a problem now for Democrats, but it wasn't before. I'm going to have some examples of that. Interesting case out of Oklahoma. I was going to use it tonight, but I'm going to use it on Friday. Judge says man accused of shooting at a sheriff's deputy was acting in self-defense. I think you're going to like this one. It's an interesting take. And Not all of them are bad, everybody. I'm not saying that. But sometimes the use of saying I'm doing an investigation does not cut it. And this judge seen through the BS. And I'm glad we have them out there, and I'm glad they're actually saying it, because not everything's an investigation. Sometimes it's a questioning, and there's a difference. But see, if you get investigation in there, then you're obstructing one, and then they try to arrest you. It's not always the case, everybody. That's why I love cameras, and I love that you can do a FOIA request and get that footage. So a couple here. David says, don't let our passion divide us. It's one thing to criticize each other over our preferences, but when it comes to our rights, we need to treat it like the bully picking on our sibling. We are all family. Absolutely. I love that analogy. That's very true. We need to actually say, listen, yeah, I got problems. We have our squabbles, but he's with us. And if you're going to bring him and you're going to go after him, then you're going after us too. And we're going to stand up to it. I love that. I love it, love it, love it, everybody. I think that's a great one. Kelly Chase, he says, shall not be infringed, should be able to have an auto semi-pump or a cannon. You can have a cannon, by the way. That's not illegal. You can have a cannon. But anyway, I agree. I'm all for full auto. I know that there are people on our side that don't believe that. I'm telling you right now, I think we should be able to have a full auto. Second Amendment was written so that we had protection from the government so they couldn't overthrow us. They were to respect us and answer to us. And they had the guns and the weapons at the time, and we don't have that anymore. We should have them. Full auto, honestly, I've shot a lot of full auto. They're a little harder to control, honestly, unless you're doing burst shots. But I do think we should be allowed to have them, and it shouldn't be an NFA item. But that's a whole nother show, and I'd bring people on for that. So, let's see. I think that was the ones I got. Got the cop killer rounds and started with a rock. Absolutely. So I want to mention this too. We got Blackbeard Logic. Comes up Friday night again, 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 6 o'clock Central. And by the way, if you haven't went over there, go check out Leon's segments on the Gordon Call thing. You want to talk about militarization and going after people and using extreme force and then lying about the narrative, just go watch this. It's well worth the watch. Find on our GAT701 stuff. You can find on Blackbeard Logic, all the outlets. Go and watch that. I want to keep this on your minds with the new decision on the NFA things at the Supreme Court level and with the judge down in Texas. We need to change this in North Dakota, Chapter 62.1-05. We need to change it because right now it still stands here that no person may purchase, sell, have, or possess a machine gun, fully automatic rifle, silencer, or bomb loaded with explosives or poisonous or dangerous gases or any other federally licensed firearm or dangerous weapon unless that person has complied with the National Firearms Act. So right now, with that, because it was an injunction basically by a judge and the Department of Justice did not appeal it, not that it still couldn't be. I think there's 90 days for it to actually happen, but as of now, it hasn't. That deadline came, but it's not the hard deadline. I'm not going to go on all the details as to why, but essentially they have I think it's 60 or 90 days, but we have to still comply with the full NFA as stands. So it's unfortunate that we have that. South Dakota, you guys are good to go. You live in a free state. You're welcome. I worked in South Dakota many years and helped pass a lot of them laws. I was very involved with that, so you're welcome. We need to get it done up here. We have a session coming up in 2027, and I think that one has to be addressed in this 2027 legislative session. All right. Happy ending of the week, everybody. Let's see, David. Whoever wrote that BS must have thought that James Bond movies were real. Yeah, no kidding, right? And let's just be blunt about this, too. I've always wanted to take a case. Silencer versus suppressor. They are technically suppressors. They're called silencers. I mean, even the silencer shop calls them a silencer, but they are a suppressor by definition. So does a silencer really mean anything when it's mentioned, or are we exempt when we have a suppressor? terminology, right? The other side uses it all the time. Just something to think about. All right, so this one comes from San Francisco. Now, I'm sure everybody said, "Hey, I've heard this myth too that most you don't want a gun for self-defense because they can use it against you." Well, that's bunk. And most of the time, that is not how it goes. But I do agree. If you're going to carry a gun, have a firearm for self-defense, you should know how to operate it and how to use it for self-defense, right? Well, this is an interesting case, and it kind of come to light that if you don't know how to handle your gun or what you're doing with your firearm, especially if you're going to be a criminal with it, might not turn out so good. So here's what happened in San Francisco, and that's just right there. Amazing that it even happened. But teenager, he was allegedly breaking in. No, he wasn't allegedly doing anything. He did it. So the gun control laws in California failed. A teenager, actually there were two of them, they acquired a firearm, used it in a crime. So we'll go over the rest of it. And it led to the consequences. But all the gun control that they have, none of it worked, and everything that happened was illegal under the law. But again, criminals don't care about laws. They broke into a Fremont apartment. They assaulted its two occupants. One of them fought back and grabbed the suspect. He ain't a suspect. Let's just face it. Trust me, you'll see why he's not even a suspect anymore. Police believe these two teenagers forced entry into the apartment in San Pedro Drive. They assaulted the two occupants before one of the residents took control of the suspect's firearm and fatally shot one of the teenagers. Police found this teenager with a gunshot wound at the residence. He was later declared dead at a local hospital. The resident suffered non-life-threatening injuries. I love how they report here. In other words, it sounds like they got banged up in the altercation, but otherwise they're fine. I mean, whoever wrote this one, that was great. I thought that was you don't see an author usually have that. And he goes, good for them too. And then it says, ideally you have a gun, but when you don't or can't, or you're taking one from a bad guy and killing him, it's almost as good when you take it from him. A lot of times it doesn't go that way, but you win some, you lose some. I mean, this is how he wrote this article. And he's right. That's harder to do than you think, but this is a prime example as to two teenagers. Unfortunately, the one, he's no longer a suspect. He's dead. But he had every intent. He was going to either rob this guy. They assaulted these two guys. They were not armed. They were defenseless, probably because of California laws. We don't have a lot of details, even though I searched for them. There's just not a lot out there yet. I suppose it's because I would assume these two are minors, being there's no details on them or their names. That usually means there's a minor or the families haven't been notified. But I bet you they're both minors. But they made a bad decision. They used a firearm they didn't know how to use. They lost control of that firearm. The people, the rightful residents in their own dwelling, should be safe in their own homes and in their own property. Decided, nope, we'd had enough. They shot one of the teenagers and he died. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. I don't know if he died on the scene or not. But this is a really good example of a good guy with a gun, even though it wasn't planned that way. They ended up getting control of an assailant's firearm. I don't know what the details on, but essentially they must have felt there was a threat to their life. I don't know if they warned them, didn't warn them, but things probably happened fast. Shot. One guy will never do it again. Bad decision. He's now going to pay the ultimate penalty, and that was dying. The other one, it doesn't say, but it sounded like they probably got him and he was arrested, but it didn't really allude to that. It just said that police are still working with the other suspect. That's all it says. So that's our happy ending because it shows the failure of gun control. It shows it doesn't matter the age limit you put on it. It shows that it doesn't matter the type of firearm. It does show that restricting law-abiding citizens from possessing their own way of defense and in violating their rights fails again, right? All the gun control that California has failed in this instance, and the good guy managed to get the firearm, and he took care of the problem. He took care of the threat, and we have two unharmed. Essentially, they were released from the hospital, minor injuries, it looked like. they were able to defend their home, defend their lives, and go back to their lives. While the assailants, one lost his life and the other one, it looks like, was arrested. So remember that. It just shows the failure of gun control, and it also proves that a good guy with a gun will prevail most of the time. And that's our happy ending of the week, everybody. So I want to thank everybody again for joining us tonight. Again, going to want to tune in on Friday. Friday's a big day. We got Friday, Mitchell in the morning, 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central. Todd Mitchell in the morning on KFYR 550, or you can catch them on iHeart. They are an iHeart channel. Pretty easy to just look up K-Fire and you'll find them there. Listen anywhere. You can download the podcast from Guns in the 701 right there on iHeart as well, and all of the platforms. By the way, everybody, if you're looking over there, thank you all and keep doing it. Go ahead and hit that QR code and subscribe. We've got $5 all the way up to $75 you can do. We sure appreciate it. And along with our sponsors, that helps keep this ship rolling, everybody. We just talked with the Bismarck Mandan Pistol and Rifle Association, or David did, because David's part of that. So thanks to David for doing that. And I believe we filled out the paperwork. We're going to have one of their banners on their outdoor range for Guns in the 701 Network. So we're looking forward to having that. Look for that when you're out there at the range. Proud to put our advertising out there as well for that. Sunday, you got Sunday Sportsman's Devotion with Pastor Vance Bishop. That's another fantastic. He had a good one last week too. Down the hills, I went on there and had to tune in. That was a little bit not like at home because I do it from my TV, but will not be on YouTube because we're banned for a week. So find it everywhere else at the backups on Rumble. It'll be on all those channels. I think we're even on Kick. Kick's not. It's like a gaming platform, but we are on there and it's really clear, by the way. But hit X. Everything X always works. You can always go to X. Guns in the 701 is really easy to find that. I know that you can't really watch it on your Roku TVs or anything, but X is a great way to watch it as well. So that will be at 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Central, a.m. Central. It's the Sunday Sportsman's Devotion with Pastor Vance Bishop. And of course, every Tuesday night, I'll be back Tuesday with another great show. Looking forward to it. I can tell you that Labor Day weekend, you got Labor Day on Monday. I haven't decided. I may not be here that following day. I think we're going to go and take that weekend for ourselves and have some fun with some friends, but I don't know that for sure yet. I'll keep you posted, but we may not do a show on that Tuesday, but I'll let everybody know. And of course, tomorrow night, Jamie will be on 701 Nation. Go look for him, and I'm sure that he's got everything you need to know about the Deer Steel Challenge coming up on the 12th. I get that right, of September. All right, everybody. I sure appreciate everybody. I appreciate our sponsors. Thanks again. They're what helped make this ship sail. And you're going to check out all of our shows. David does 701 Marksman, but he hasn't had an episode for a while, so we're hoping that he's going to have a little more time this fall. He's been busy on the shooting circuit and hauling, and he's busier than I am. So, hey, but he does a great show, and you're going to want to tune into the next episode of that. With that, everybody, God's blessings to each and every one of you. Remember, keep your powder.